The institution actively involves in the application of initiatives and programs, which means to say that the Prime Minister of India will select the most able, the most capable people who will govern the system. After the formation of Niti Aayog, the Planning Commission of India was immediately replaced with this name. Niti Aayog was established on January 2015. However, in the present terminology, it refers to the policies and transformation. Good morning and welcome to the first session, Chapter 3, Unit 3, first semester, B.Ba, Pre-Reforms of Indian Economy, where we are going to speak about functions of Niti Aayog. Now, the brainchild of India's Planning Commission, which got renamed to Niti Aayog, stands for the National Institution of Transforming India, formed in the year January 2015 through a Union Cabinet resolution in order to serve the policy inputs. Now, the Niti Aayog is not an ordinary institution, or it is not just any other governmental institution which just stands among the large number of industrial framework that we have. This is the think tank. This is the heart and soul of India's Planning Commission, India's planning head altogether. This is the brainchild for every single policy that is executed in our constitution. Now, the Niti Aayog plays a very vital role in development process of the country. After the formation of Niti Aayog, the Planning Commission of India was immediately replaced with this name. Now, why did this transition happen altogether is that Niti Aayog is not just a think tank alone which will just keep writing those policies theoretically, but they are the people who are going to bring in the actual thing into picture. They are going to bring in the factors in terms of design, in terms of action altogether. So it is very important for all of us to understand the functions of Niti Aayog altogether. They basically help in building up the federalism, monitoring and valuation. They act as a source of knowledge hub, design policy and program altogether. Followed by evolution of Niti Aayog. Niti Aayog was established on January 2015. However, in the present terminology, it refers to the policies and transformation. So when you look into the government symbol of Niti Aayog, it is the representation of modern India which governs in terms of bringing in a better transformation, better lifestyle, better execution for the overall development of the country. So that's where I would say that Niti Aayog is not just a functionary unit, but it is the transformation energy, transformation engine for entire India. Followed by, it focuses on powerful states in order to help the nation become more and more secure and indestructible. So that's where Niti Aayog helps in building up a very, very significant model for this country in terms of understanding how the knowledge resources can be used, how they can be modified, and where they can be implemented so that we are able to create a viable path, a better and a secure roadmap for the government. Now, the evolution of the entire Niti Aayog started with the Team India Hub, which ensures the involvement of Indian states with the central government and fosters federal cooperative system altogether. What we are typically trying to do here is that we are trying to focus on inclusive development rather than exclusivity. We believe that 29 states and 6 union territories have the equal right, have the equal interest in terms of making this country a strong and a formidable growth-oriented country. So we want to see that every single policy that has been implemented, that has been designed, is brought together for the benefit of the nation. We do not want to exclude any of the system. We want to see that every single system that has been brought into it has got the complete evolution. The program is so well designed that we are going to include all the states, all the districts, so that everybody is able to get benefit out of it. So Niti Aayog's primary function is to build in cooperation and not competition. That's where Niti Aayog stands as a primary organization which fosters the entire behavior of cooperation among the 29 states. Followed by the Knowledge and Innovation Hub. Now let's talk about the Knowledge and Innovation Hub in detail. Why? Because this is primarily responsible for constructing an institution's think tank capability. Now, any institution cannot work without the knowledge resource. So it becomes mandatory for any organization to rework on their knowledge resources altogether. Today, when we are talking about the constitution altogether, India is known for its security. India is known for its wisdom, for its knowledge, which has been created so many years from the ages known altogether. Now, what we need is that we need modern knowledge with significant inputs combined with the prowess of technology that could actually help us in practical governance activities, passing on the good practices from one generation to the next generation. What we want in India is not just the government, but we want a better governance. So in every step that we are going to involve ourselves, we have to make sure that we are creating a system that can govern the organization, that can govern the entire system, the entire philosophy in a better manner altogether. And that's why we are building this entire institution altogether. Followed by the composition of Niti Aayog. Niti Aayog consists of these following people, starting with the chairperson, the Prime Minister. The Honorable Prime Minister of India is the chairperson of Niti Aayog, followed by the Governing Council, which comprises of the Chief Minister of all the states and the Lieutenant Governors of the Union Territories, followed by the special invitees. A Prime Minister will invite these members, including the prominent experts, to acquire the domain skills and knowledge of Niti Aayog, which means to say that the Prime Minister of India will select the most able, the most capable people who will govern the system. Followed by the other institutional members. It includes the Vice Chairman of Niti Aayog CEO, 4 members of the Minister Council, and other part-time members who are appointed by the Prime Minister. So this organization is well structured and it consists of people who are sharp-minded, who have the acumen to take the best decision, guide the country through the tough times, and create a futuristic roadmap for our country. Followed by the Niti Aayog's framework in the objectives are placed in the following manner. Niti Aayog works for the systematic functioning of institutional system. They are guided by the objectives regulated by the CEO and the Niti Aayog chairman. They promote and cooperate federalism by initiating structural support systems. So they ensure that there is a support that is being given at each and every level. The strategies for partnership between central and state government. So whenever we talk about the central and the state relationship, there is an equal give and take all together. That's what we are able to see here, followed by a mechanism that will actually develop the village level plan, combine their progress with the government level plan. So right from the root till the top, what we see is the integration of idea, integration of thought process, so that we are able to get a good roadmap. Followed by the Niti Aayog unfolds the national development sectors prior, creates strategies and participation of state government. Let's say for an example, today we want to build roadways, highways, better infrastructure, or you're talking about the metros. There requires an amount of strategic thinking that has to go inside in terms of executing these plans, which means to say that infrastructural push or support cannot be given just like that. It cannot be the factor that we are just spending money to build infrastructure. It requires a strategic involvement. It requires a good return on investment, and we need to find out what are the sectors, which are the states, which are the primary areas where this push has to be given, so that we are able to connect the right places, the right things on time, and we are able to get a better output altogether. So the planning institution ensures that the national security, the national interest in terms of executing any plan that has been told, and they also see that in the long run they are able to associate themselves with each and every state, each and every plan at the root level. That is more important. Why? Because many of us think that a national think tank just executes idea at the top level as far as possible. But believe me, the entire concept of this ideology is to go at the root level, combine everybody, bring that inclusive development in mind and start taking it forward. That's why Niti Aayog builds in long-term policy and its frameworks, takes a lot of initiative. They look into efficiency, they look into the effort, they look into the factors that will actually make the plans more practical and feasible in nature. The results received from the monitoring are taken from the improvement and corrections. It is always a factor that the entire organization makes it a point that they look into whatever changes that can be made in future for the betterment of the system and the organization. Followed by the Transforming India institution plays a very, very special heed to the societal areas that are not receiving any benefits. We all know that in India, not all the plans are reaching every nook and corner of India, not to everybody. There are certain areas, there are certain zones where you would start seeing that we are not getting that social benefit altogether. So that's why we say that the ideology of Niti Aayog is to see that the entire thing, the entire factors keep reaching every nook and corner of Niti Aayog, the factors of the state, so that they get the benefit and they are in a transformational phase altogether. It gratifies the fellow form of relationship between the stakeholders and national outside the nation think tanks. So it's basically connecting each and every organizational institution so that they are able to get the best benefit as far as it goes. Followed by, when we talk about the upgradation of plan, when we talk about the knowledge and combining with the support of systems, what we try to see is that we get a complete composition of experts, both from the national as well as from the international domain, who have been the think tanks, who have been the forefront leaders of thinking, who have been able to combine each and every activity and bring out the best as far as possible. It also provides a platform to solve the interdepartmental, intersectoral problem and implement the development plan altogether. Now, that is the most interesting factor of this organization, which is it's able to combine, start working together as a plan, as a sector, as a development idea altogether here. Followed by, it balances the state-of-art resource center by conducting the prominent research on effective governance, the good practices for workable development, which is very, very important. The institution also helps the dispersible of stakeholders, which is also coming up in a big way. The institution actively involves in the application of initiatives and programs. So Niti Aayog is not going to be just an organization which is going to look at the top level policies, but this is going to involve in each and every activity, in each and every system where it is going to go forward, think and rebuild the organization altogether. Now, it also involves certain objectives like the discovering of resources, increasing the scope of doing some activity, providing technological upgradation wherever it is needed, which is very, very important today, handling activities which is known for the implementation of national development and at the rural level altogether. So it is basically trying to strengthen the program and its various applications all along the system so that you will be able to get a betterment in plan altogether. Followed by the pillars of Niti Aayog. It is pro-people oriented, it is pro-activity, and it is participation oriented, which means every plan that is being created is for the benefit of the society, is for the benefit of the people. We need to see that the activity is practical, feasible, derives some benefit for the people, for the public needs. It's suitable, participation where we can involve the private, where we can involve the government. So there needs to be a public-private participation at all levels, and that's what they initiate and that's what they mean at the participation level altogether. Followed by empowering. Now this word is very, very important. Why? Because empowering is not about just giving power or responsibility to the people, but it is about giving an opportunity through which you will be able to achieve the dreams. So when we are going to empower women in various sectors of the Indian government, what we are trying to do is that we are trying to give them the space, we are trying to give them the identity, we are trying to give them the opportunity to realize their dreams, and we are giving them the chance to utilize their best potential that they have. And that's where we are empowering it. Till now, in the IPL, for example, it has always been a male-dominated game altogether whenever we speak about cricket. But today, we have ensured that we have gone to the factor that we have redefined the game altogether. Today, there's a women IPL team that has also come up, and we have brought a very good definition to it. Recently, when the women under-19 team won the World Cup, that shows the potential of the women cricket team in India. So when we talk about empowering, we are giving the platform for people to perform better than what they can. And now, equality. Whenever we talk about this word equality, that equal opportunity, we do not want to discriminate between gender, caste, creed, or religion, or any other factors for that matter. Why? Because we believe that the most important pillar for the success of any country is equality. Everybody should get equal opportunities to perform, and then they will be able to realize their potential. Followed by the next pillars that we are talking about is the inclusion. Yes, every institution, every system, every factors have to be included. They need to be transparent. They need to be responsible towards the citizens, telling them clearly how the function is going on, what are all the changes that they have brought in, and how the system is working. Followed by, when we come to the conclusion factor of it, Niti Aayog is the policy factor that has been formed by the government. The Union Cabinet has taken a wonderful step in terms of making the citizens understand how they can be able to achieve their needs and wants. And Niti Aayog has been standing together as a strong pillar, supporting India in each and every initiative and making the factor that every single policy is executed on time and every key stakeholder is benefited through this entire planning exercise. Now, moreover, we also see that the transparency, the benefits that all have been derived with the members that have been taken into Niti Aayog, this definitely functions as the supreme think tank of our country, which turns to govern the entire nation with the best of their ability. With this, I come to the end of this session. I hope and believe that all the forms and factors that have been presented through this particular session will be of great benefit to you, both in terms of practical as well as in theoretical walk of life. With this, we come to the end of this particular subject called as Pre-Reforms of Indian Economy in the first semester NEP syllabus. I wish all the best to my students in terms of undergoing this subject and securing the best marks in the forthcoming examination. Thank you once again for joining me today on this wonderful session.